Thank you very much for joining us today for the Arts Speaker Series presentation. This is an initiative of the Arts Research, Scholarship, and Creativity Committee, also known as ARSC. And the purpose of this speaker series is to share some of the important research conducted by faculty members, students, and staff from across the Faculty of Arts and the wider community. With the wider community. I'm Aaron Goodman. I'm a faculty member in Journalism and Communication Studies at KPU. And we're really grateful to our speaker today, for all of you for taking time to attend the presentation today. The title is From Canvas to Screen, My Artistic Evolution, with Alvaro Roman Rodriguez from Entertainment Arts. In a moment, I'll invite Alvaro to introduce himself further. And before we begin, I'd like to share a brief territorial acknowledgement. We all know that at KPU, we respectfully acknowledge that we live, work, and study in a region that overlaps with the unceded traditional ancestral First Nations territories of the Musqueam, Katsi, Semia, Utuasan, Kikot, and Kwantlen peoples, and with the lands of the Kwantlen First Nation, which gifted its name to our university. And we hope that you will attend and register for other talks in this art speaker series. In case you missed it, you will have received an email with an invitation from ArtsCom Events. Please take a moment to register so you get all the info for the entire series in your email inbox. And our next talk, please join us, will be on Wednesday, May 14th at 1 p.m. And the presenters are Renee Sarojini Saklikar from Creative Writing and Dale Tracy from English. And their title of their presentation is Pausing to Process Unprecedented: Climate Change and Social Justice Through Theater Enactments. And a few points of housekeeping before we begin. Please place yourselves on mute throughout the presentation and have your cameras set to off, and the chat function can be used to comment. Finally, we will be recording the session and uploading the video to the Faculty of Arts YouTube channel for access in the future. And we'll have time for discussion at the end of the conversation. We hope to have about 10 or 15 minutes for this. And you're welcome to ask questions using the raise your hand function or by writing your questions in the chat. Thank you again for being here, and Alvaro, I'll hand it over to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Okay, I want to introduce myself. I'm Alvaro Romero. I'm from Colombia. I'm visual artist, and right now I'm working as a 2D effects artist in Atomic Cartoons. I want to share my presentation. So with that, sorry. Okay, so this talk is about how I have taken some of decisions in my journey as an artist, switching to careers, switching to countries, always looking something personal that I feel this is the gas to continuous. I wanted to share with you, so probably it can motivate you to take some risk, and I don't know. So first of all, I want to give an alarm. There is going to be pictures that probably can be sensitive with some people. And also, I want to apologize about my English. It's not my first language, so I hope so you can understand me in totally. So, as I told you, I study plastic and visual arts in Colombia in 2010. That gave me the opportunity to start my journey as a painter. That was something that I wanted to do with all my passion. I was involved in more like a body like a expression of the body, and I felt like I have something that I can share with the world. I thought that will be enough, and I was only like get this like bachelor title and start working as an artist. But was when a teacher told me back in that day that sometimes your style can be the lack of technique. Like sometimes you think you have everything solved in your thoughts, in your technical abilities, and probably is only and you think it's your voice, but this is only probably like a lack of knowledge in something part in some part. So with that, he presented to me my first hero. He is Gottfried Hellwein. He is an Austrian artist. He born in post-war, Second War. So his discourse as an artist is all the traumas and the violence that he had to live when he was kid. He showed this subject through painting and hyperrealistic. So with that, I understood that if I wanted to talk about sensitive subjects, I need to also get good painting. And without I start understanding that art is illusion. Like most of the artists, they have talent, but you always have technology to help you. This painting of Vermeer show us that he used cameras, lens, no matter before camera was invented, they already had machines to make easier the artist to copy reality and can make easier that tedious work that is painting. I try my best, and unfortunately, I felt that my technique in painting it wasn't the best. I couldn't deliver what in my mind was there. So when I was in second or third term of university, this concept came to me, like painting is dead, and everything start in. Oof, sorry, the date is wrong. In the 70s, with Duchamp, um, that breaks a lot of like the narrative of art and painting when he says like everything that is in a museum is art, like any object, and that made that when I wanted to talk about something, uh, I don't needed to use painting to talk about these subjects. Each time I was studying more, I realized that there were more techniques or actions that you can use to talk about something. Painting was the last one. It was always to talk about stuff. Um, and I'm telling you this because no matter that this can sounds like something that today with AI is happening. This is something that they were talking in the 80s and 70s. So I entered to this like to this conversation late, and I have to like in that time I have to understand that you have to abandon sometimes your dreams only to follow your dream, like follow your real dream. And for me was became an artist. So I um, start like I'm meeting other artists, like another kind of ways to show your work. There is Doris Salcedo. She's a Colombian artist. She used installation to talk about people that was disappear in war or disappear for the government, and also to talk about these spaces that are disappear, like they are no more there, but it's still in our like a collective memory. As with that ideas, I also try to do that, use objects, use humans, and I fail in this part. That feeling helping me to know where I didn't want it to go. Like I understood that objects and performance can be more strong, sending a message, but it wasn't for me. Um, is when finally in one of my terms in university, I was introduced for photography. And as artists in the beginnings of the 1900, by 1100, I abandoned paintings and I took photography with me, and I start meeting all my heroes. So this was great photographers that show me that photography can have the same aura as a painting, that is not only to be used as a commercial thing, that can be have like a deep a deep discourse in the space. Um, and with that, I start taking photos. I start like perfecting the technique until I start creating narratives, um, use models. I start working with teams. Then I start bringing again my subject, that was the hyperviolence. As a person who comes to Colombia, violence is a subject that is always in our daily life, sadly. But this violence is always treated with kind of entertainment for the news and for uh, the entertainment industry. So when I started doing photography, I realized that I wanted to go to film. I wanted to tell stories. So I did my first short. Mm. So as you see, I obviously didn't study in a film school. So I was able to ignore a lot of rules that are in cinematography and be more like talking about the concept. Like you don't say no, never what is the two sides of the coin. You never know who is the person who is getting the aggression. Um, and without I start like going more deep to this subject until I start thinking about like what is the purpose of the image and why I produce that, and why I have like a in this era where there is so much content and art, why I should say something. And it was when I started watching a lot of Latin American movies, and I start seeing trend. in the films that produce Colombia and in general in Latin America. Everything is like most of the products that go to the Oscars, that go to the like international festivals, that are award, always are talking about, most of the time, they are talking about war, violence. Like for me, as a person who live in that area, in that space, I feel like that trend, what it makes is uh, make a empty content of what is really happening. Instead of trying to help, like to visualize that violence, is only like a feeling, feeding industry of entertainment. So with that, I start creating photographies talking about that emptiness, like uh, in that point that people, artists, take a subject and make it so empty that you lose totally the context of what is really happening. With that uh, ideas, I continues producing, talking about Colombian films and how we explode our civil war. After that, I graduated from the university in 2015, and I start understanding something when I just graduated, when I was ready to find a job, and it was that all my heroes in photography um, were people that have like a huge team behind. Like it was not only one person working. Um, Also, no matter that I got interviews in as a photographer, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was going to be something more like a editor, editing photos of other people. Um, like I was going to become something that is not an artist. So in that time, I took again the decision of abandon photography and start from zero again. And that time is when I, in all my all the moment I wanted to take a decision of what to do with my life, is when I someone introduced me about concept art. That is the art that is produced for movies or for shows. There is always an artist or artists that are making this art um, to create all the imagination, all the ideal of what is going to be the movie. And I fell in love with this idea. I have painting. It wasn't going to talk about subjects that I interested in, but I also wanted to find a job. So is when I start get into the digital era, and then is when I start. I found a small studio, a small school in Colombia, and I took a small class about concept art. Um, at the beginning, I took the tablet and I started painting without knowledge what I was going to do, and I realized the power of digital art and how can be blend and how can all the tools that can give you to create a picture. So I start learning about more comic, about more anatomy, and there is when I start seeing a light. People in social media start contacting me for work with them. Um, I start understanding what was the difference between an illustrator and a concept artist. I was talking more about the design. Um, then I found another problem in this career, and is that concept artist in a production of a movie is around a group of 5 people. That is in probably US, where the productions are huge. In Latin America and other countries, usually it's only one person. So this make more complicated to create a career as an artist. So in my research to see what else I can do to get a job as a concept artist, I saw the interview of Sergio Pablos. He is the founder of Spa Studio. He is a traditional animator, but he have produced a lot of art for movies for Hollywood. And one thing that he said that marked me for my rest of life is like a concept artist need to know how to animate. So with his advice in a YouTube video, I took a class of traditional animation. I found also a small studio in Colombia. I only wanted to know what was the base of animation. Um, that make me to start getting jobs in animation that there are like more animators that concept artists, and I could enter to the industry of entertainment. So uh, with that I can be able to have money to to pay another course, and is when I found that concept art is not only for cartoons, concept art is also for films and video games. So you need also to create um, pictures to help the production to visualize how it's going to look this project. And this course given to me an artist that his name is Julian Calle. He is a concept artist here in Canada. Was when I realized if I want to be an artist, I have to Colombia, um, leave Colombia and go to the industry in Canada. So my main idea when I went there was found a job and start working there. But sadly, no matter that I got interviews, the visa was a problem. So I have to take a course and in KPU, it was before from Langara, it was CEE, Center of Entertainment Arts. I was the first generation of this program that now is KPU Entertainment Arts. Um, and always my mentality was how to become a better concept artist. Um, I knew that learning the CG production, I going to become more skillful to create pictures. So this was my final reel in 2022. There I get be where after that I was able to find a job as a 3D modeler. Um, Make me enter to the industry until I arrived the point where I have the opportunity to work as a concept artist for a video game company. After that point, I realized that I didn't want to go back because concept art means a lot of drawing, a lot of photo bashing, that is like use photos to create pictures. And I already knew how to create 3D, how create um, pictures that I can move, not only going to be frozen. So I decided to continue working in 3D, and is when I understood that um, my journey as an artist is not a position in a company. I also start in this time. Obviously, it happened COVID. Then happened the strike in Hollywood 2 years ago, and now it's happening the the after effects of everything, uh, leaving a lot of employers, people, a lot of seniors with more experience than me, and that have make like a more complicated to find jobs right now. So without I only knew something that is I don't able to forget what was my dream when I came here, and the when I started working studying as an artist, and is being an artist, and never lose that approach of that I'm the machine that is making me uh, uh, like finding jobs and getting a freelance, and it's the machine that I like always putting money to that machine learn more and can like evolutionate in this civilization, and there changes that each time happening more in arts, more faster, suddenly that years before. So with that, I can give you some recommendations of books that are like my Bibles. The first of them are three small books. There are like self-help books for an artist. This book helping me to understand that you can recycle your work. You don't have to have your work in a pedestal. That everything is always experimentation. The second book that I hardly recommend you is Mastery of Robert Greene. There you're going to find examples not only for artists, like they have for politician, sport artists, like they have like so many examples from the for history that only make me understood that inspiring exists, but it has to be found with your work. Like think never going to be useful if you don't do stuff. Um, I have found like working is the way that I can evolutionate it as an artist, and also like make me take decisions in the role. So this is one project that I have been doing from 2014. That was a story that started like an illustrated book. And in that point, no matter that story was amazing, like I enjoy it, and I feel like it had to be tell. I abandoned it until in 2018. I go back with my knowledge into the animation, um, and I start working on it. I did the script, I did the art. Obviously, because animation, to make animation, you need a big team. So I leave it in this reel, in this teaser, waiting for the moment that I'm going to take this project again. Was in only in 2023, where I when I was checking my previous work, I started realizing that there I have the story, I have the scripts, I have the designs, only have to update it. So I use also this project to study when I wanted to learn more about hair, when I wanted to know more about how to make cloth. This was the perfect excuse because I'm not looking just for when I do this. I'm not in my mindset of this going to get me a job in the industry. I do it more because one day I'm going to be able to tell this story. Um, I'm going to pass to a director position and a creator of long content that is movies or series. Also, as I told you, industry these days are not the best. And animation was something that 2D animation was something that I thought is going to be no more in my life after I moved here in Canada. But funny or not, in last year when I was looking for jobs, I saw a post of a company looking for a 2D effects artist, and I apply. I apply with my reel. They have animations like 8 years older, 6 years older. Um, this one was one of them and was funny because my supervisor who make me the interview, he was amazed for that project, and this project is super old. So I learned that I never uh, the art and the things that I produce never get old. They are like they are part of that time, and they have something that in the moment I was excited, and right now, years after, there are people still getting excited with this content. I was able to jump in again to another industry, that the CG industry, to a 2D animation industry, um, and helping me to like be still like a surviving in this economy. I also with photography, no matter that is no like a lucrative. I also have found the opportunity to work as a behind the scenes photographer in productions here in Canada. So also that make me understand that everything is like a web of um, of realities that you doesn't know that you put this like a skill there aside, but this skill is with you for the rest of your life. And this is something that I think you never have to leave any skill away because you never know. Without, I want to leave you with my last project. As I told you previously, my material, my 3D sculptures are only that sculpture. They are unable to move. So right now, I'm thank you to KPU, working as teacher assistant. I able to continue studying and learning from the teachers and updating myself again and again. Yeah, this is everything. I hope you feel this talk helpful, that inspire you. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Sure, Monique.
Oh, actually, I didn't meant to clap. Thanks, Alvaro.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. It's really nice to see more of your practice as a TA working in ENTA. This was great. I really enjoy seeing your journey here to us. We're so lucky to have you.
Thank you so much. So I'm happy like you invite me to this space. Something I found people in KPU teachers are really passionate for education. At the end, everything of my journey is about learn and knowledge. And thank you so much.
Okay, I have a question for you, Alvaro.
Sure.
So if there's one area that you want to apply your focus going forward, let's say over the next year, something you're really interested in learning about, whether it's more different types of skills or honing skills or topic, what are you looking forward to putting your attention towards? Thank you.
Like today, right now in the company that I am, they are giving us like a $100, $150 to any course, and my contract finish in 1 month. So I want to take this money, and I have been thinking about this question a lot because I know industry is not getting better, and with AI is getting worse. So something that I never like probably here I didn't put you in the presentation, but education is something that always I have been interested in. I would like to study to be a teacher, and it's something that I start like looking these days. A course to certificate me as adult like teacher for adults, and of course improve my English and improve how communicate with people. And yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, don't they say you when you teach, you master it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Students, and I have seen with myself, when you found a teacher that really give you that hand that you needed to grow, you follow that person. Like I follow my teacher for until Canada to follow my dream. So I know that as a teacher, you have like a space to change the world.
Okay,
So
we have some nice, very complimentary comments in the chat from Dan Lett. I'll read it out. Thank you so much for the presentation. Your work is really interesting or arresting and compelling. I'm intrigued by the film work in particular. And Philip writes, great talk, inspiring story, and eclectic work. Thanks so much, Alvaro. I've got to head to campus now for a class. Are there any other questions or comments for Alvaro, please? Going once. Okay, well, you did mention to me off the top that you had a 30-minute presentation in mind. So it's been really fabulous, really interesting, really compelling. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your work. Thanks to all of you for being here today.
thank you so much.
And if you're